I have been so bad with filming intros specifically for the reading vlogs. So this is like Michaela from like a week in the future after I have finished this book. So this video is going to be a reading vlog for Zodiac Academy book 6, which is Fated Throne. I have had some time to process it now. So it'll be exciting for me to also watch back the clips of what I was thinking. I will say that this book, you will see it in these first few clips. The beginning, so frustrating to me because of what had happened at the end of book 5 with the guardian bond being put on Tori and where she's like bonded to Lionel. And you'll see, like, there was a point where I did not think I was going to continue the series or continue the book because I was getting so nervous of like where the bond was going to lead to. I will say, even though this video is shorter than the book 5 video, so you might be worried that I actually DNF'd. I did not DNF. I did finish the book. Now, the updates in this vlog are a little bit more spaced out than they were for book 5, and that was genuinely just because this one was a little bit slower for me and it was taking me a little bit more to get into the book and into the storyline. So I was worried that picking up the camera would make me lose all my like momentum to keep going. So not as many updates as you saw in the book 5 video, but still the updates are good and you still get my thoughts and real-time reactions to what is going on. And yeah, it's been about a week since I finished. I have taken a little pause in between, and you'll see I talk about it at the end of the video, but I am excited to keep going. So, without further ado, this is the Zodiac Academy Book 6 reading vlog, and it does contain spoilers. All right, hello guys. I have been staring at my Kindle literally all day. It is currently 8 p.m. I have been looking at it since I woke up at like 7:30 this morning. It's right here next to me. I just have been really nervous to jump back into the story, and here's why. So I haven't given you any updates yet because I did read it last night before bed. I started it per usual, and I was really liking the beginning because we were getting some Xavier, really happy he has 3 elements, more than Darius. Lionel was finally happy for him. Like, I was liking that Xavier was having his moment. Also interesting that like the other heirs, their siblings, are coming to Zodiac, so that was cool. I'm also liking that Darcy is like in a group with the other heirs. They're really bonding. They're spending time together. They're out there like fighting the nymphs together. I'm loving that dynamic. Here's my issue. And I literally made a TikTok today being like, I might have to DNF this book or the series. I'm not going to because I'm this far in, but the thought has crossed my mind. Oh my God. Words. The thought has crossed my mind. And that has to do with the guardian bond. We got a scene where, first of all, it's been an entire summer since the end of book 5. We got a scene where they're like throwing a party at the Acrux Manor. This is the first time Darius has seen Tori. She's living at the house. He just can't figure out where she's being kept. And he's like trying to find her. But she comes in with Lionel. She's so just like a shell of herself. She is so dismissive to Darius. And then she literally sits on Lionel's lap, like on his knee, during the entire dinner. Honestly, just like thinking about that and saying that out loud again, it's just like bringing back the memories of having to read it. And I was grossed out. Then I didn't know if she was coming back to the academy, but she did. She came back to Zodiac. She's in her dorm and she's talking about how she's like itching and like yearning to go and see Lionel, and it's been like 2 days. Ugh. What? She literally has such an urge because of the bond. She calls him and he is like in bed with Clara, and you can tell that like Tori's getting jealous. I can't even talk about it. It's like so disturbing to me. Oh my God. Then they describe her phone. She hangs up with him. She has a shirtless photo of Lionel as her screensaver on her phone. I'm not okay with any of this. I literally said in the TikTok, I said, I will DNF this series if there is anything romantic or sexual between the two of them, because no. I have been through too much heartbreak and trauma with this series. That is just like, you are so over the line at that point. No, I'm not reading it. I'm not subscribing to that because I've been through enough. That's a gut punch I'm not willing to take. So just be warned, like this might not even be a full vlog, because if that happens, I will stop reading the book. Oh, and then it got worse. So after we had to like see that. She goes to a party with him that he had at the Palace of Souls, which is her and Darcy's palace. He tells everyone he has access to the shadows. He brings the nymphs in and shows them how he's controlling the nymphs. He said he had like a vision and whatever, someone, the stars gave him this power. He gets Tori to like rescind her like claim to the throne. He basically traps all the other counselors with the shadows so they can't fight against him, and he becomes the king. And then I had to turn my Kindle off because I said, I am 11%, literally 11% into this book, and I don't like anything I've read so far. So that's where we're at. And then the thought of picking it up today, I said, I could not do it. Like, I could not put myself in that mindset because I hate everything that's going on right now. Lance is in prison. Actually, I think my next chapter I have to read is a POV of him, so maybe that's also why I turned it off, because I said I already hate all of this. I cannot get hurt again. So he's still in jail. Tori, I think, is developing romantic feelings for Lionel. Never thought I would say that when I started the series. And Lionel is now the sole, like, monarch of Solaria. Things are really great for all of our characters. I'm just having the time of my life. So that's where we're at. I really would like to put a little more of a dent in this so we can, get through the book, but that's where I'm at. So I will update you again when I've read a little bit more, when something else is triggering, but I feel like every page is triggering at this point, so I don't really want this vlog to be an hour long like the last one was. We'll see. I'll be back with another update. Okay, so it's like a few days and a few chapters later, and here's the situation. I finally made it to chapter 15, which on TikTok, a lot of people, when I was like, I think I might DNF this, a lot of people were like, get to 15, it gets so much better after that. Can confirm that is true. But the journey to 15 was rough, and the reason why I just did not do any updates was because I was literally reading the book like one chapter at a time. I would read a chapter, put it down for hours, pick it back up, read another chapter. And on the rare occasion where I did want to keep reading, I was nervous that by picking up the camera to do an update, I would get out of that flow. Now, this is not to say that the book is bad. It is not bad in any way, shape, or form. The writing is not bad. It is just the things that the characters are going through right now are so heart-wrenching. They're so difficult to read that I mentally and emotionally just cannot handle more than like one chapter at a time. But I think we're turning a page here. Like, I think things are going to start to change a different direction, but here's what you've missed. So I think in the last update, I said Lionel has just become king. So they go back to Zodiac Academy. He has now instituted a new law where you cannot like co-mingle with other orders. So like even in class, you have to sit with your order. You cannot talk to other orders. You cannot like hang out with them. You just have to hang out with people in your own order. And he instituted this group of people that are monitoring this, and they're the only ones that have exceptions to kind of intermingle. And if they catch people doing this, then they report them to the king, and like serious things can happen to them. And so Tori is kind of like leading this group, and I'm not going to say what the word spells out, but let's just say the acronym for it is KUNTS. So I love these acronyms they come up with. Of course, everyone is kind of like figuring out ways to do it in secret. It's fine. Also in the classrooms, because they're separated by order, they've also split it. So the orders that Lionel finds less than have to sit in the back of the classroom, like in traditional desks. And then the more powerful orders get the front of the classroom, and they have like couches with like beverages and snacks. Like, I can't. It's giving Rosa Parks. So that's been depressing. Then we had like an absolutely disgusting line where Darius goes to visit his dad, and they're talking about how like, because Tori and Darcy are really the only phoenixes, he's like, it's so sad there's no like male phoenixes for her to procreate with. Like, maybe I'll have to put babies in her. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Lance found out that his dad was actually part of this like Zodiac guild where they were protecting like dark magic, and he actually worked for Tori and Darcy's parents. And he didn't actually die in like a magical accident. It was like he knew his death was coming. And so one of the guys in the prison with him was his dad's friend, and he is like the last death that needs to happen for like this new fate to come into play. And so he dies, but he gives Orion the password for the diary. So Orion has figured out like how to get into the diary. He needs to wait for a full moon now, but the diary will bring them to the Imperial Star, which they need to take Lionel down. Well, Lionel also got a seer, and that seer has figured out this diary thing. So Lionel has taken Orion out of jail, and he's on house arrest at the Palace of Souls, Darcy and Tori's palace. And he had to make like a star vow with Lionel that he would tell him, or he would help him find the star. But the way he worded the vow, there's a lot of wiggle room for Orion to still like actually work with the right side. The part I just read, the heirs Darcy, Gabriel, and Geraldine were finally able to get the order suppressant into Tori. So they trapped her in a nymph cage, and they were able to like calm her down enough so they could like shoot her with this stuff that would basically allow her phoenix to come out. And once her phoenix could come out, she could break through all that dark coercion that's in her. And Max ends up getting everyone to leave, and he's like, let me help you. And he spends like hours going through her memories and like her emotions, and he sees all of the torture that Lionel did to her, and it is absolutely terrible. Like, I can't even imagine, like, reading it, I was like, this is too much. And the way she was really manipulated to associate all these literally terrible things that happened to her as Darius being the one to do it to her, not Lionel. So Max is like trying to like break through and kind of show her that she's been brainwashed in a sense. So that's where I left off, because it's like very heavy. But I think now we're turning a page because she has her order. Max is helping her like work through these events, and I think we'll be able to get her on a place where she can be more like herself and kind of do like a double agent role. So that's where I'm at. I think it's like 30% into the book. Liking it. It's not a bad book. It's just the events that are happening are like so bleak and disappointing that it's just like, it's not fun to read and binge because nothing good is happening. So that's where I'm at. It is days later. I'm in the same spot, different outfit, different day. Okay? Days later. I have officially been reading this book for 1 week, which is very long for me. I read a book every 3 days. The fact that I've been on the same book for a week and it's a series that I actually really enjoy is concerning. The issue is I have no desire to pick up my Kindle because I have no clue what is going on with this specific book in the series, because I feel like the rest of them I've flown through. This one is reminding me of how I felt when I was reading Ruthless Boys, where I'm just like unmotivated. I don't want to read. Then adding to it, like the fact that I've like committed to doing these vlogs with these updates, I'm like, I don't want to read and then have to worry about like picking the camera up. So I'm a mess. I think I've only gotten through like maybe 6 chapters since the last update I did. Like, we have not made much progress at all. I need to finish this book. I'm at 60%. And then just confirmed that, like, no matter how this book ends, I will be taking a pause and reading something different, because I think that's the issue, is I've been reading too many of these back to back and I'm getting, like, a little burnt out. So, honestly, what have we missed? What happened that I can update you guys on? Oh, here's one. Darius took Tori to the human world so they could like go on a date. They went to New York City, and I'm pretty sure I said this in book 5. Yeah, definitely was book 5, because book 4 was when they became star-crossed. I definitely said in book 5, like, if they went to the mortal realm, would the stars be able to do like their storm thing? And it confirmed they still can like have effects on them, but it's delayed because the way, I don't know, the frequencies of the stars, I have no clue. Like, they could spend more time together before like storms start a brewing. And then outside of that one piece of information, oh, Tori like has had the shadows. Well, she still has the shadows, but she like, they're giving her the antidote, so she is herself when she's with Lionel, but she has to like fake it. So we're still having to deal with him and like him kissing her cheek, and it's disgusting, but at least she's like more herself. Big thing that happened. The big thing that happened. How, this is what I mean, like, things are happening and I'm not even remembering them because I'm so not into it. The 2 girls were told by Gabriel, like, you need to go to the palace, whatever. Like, so you both need to be there this night. they ended up getting like those like footstep things again. So they got a vision and they were able to confirm that Lionel was dark coercing their father into being the Savage King. Like he would tell him, like, go kill those people. And the dad didn't want to. And then they saw their dad like talking to himself and he was like praying to the stars, like, what is wrong with my mind? Like, I feel like I have no control over my body. It was Lionel the whole time. I mean, nice to have it confirmed, but like the breadcrumbs we got like tracks. Not, I wasn't surprised by that piece of information. And then they did just help Catalina, which is Darius' mom, escape. So they were able to stage like basically what looked like her murder, or like she got killed in the throes of like passion because Lionel was like forcing her to sleep with people. And they were able to get her out of the palace. So that's good. She's, as of this point, she's out of his clutches. I'm sure he'll find a way to get her back though. And then other than that, we're just getting the breadcrumbs, the early stages of them setting the scene for Seth and Caleb to be a couple, and I cannot wait. I love that. I'm so here for it. This, like, the turn that Seth did, like, I mean, the fact that I like Seth, first of all, crazy. I hated him 2 books ago. And like I liked Caleb, but like I was very much like in the him and Tori thing. So I'm loving this new direction and I can't wait till like they are fully in it. But we're definitely getting the breadcrumbs for that. But other than that, nothing really has happened. And yeah, I'm like, let's see. It is currently December 12th. I literally wanted this vlog to go up yesterday. So we are very delayed. So we'll see. Like, if I can get this done by like the 18th, next Wednesday, literally 2 weeks of reading, I'll be happy at this point. But I'm like really gonna try to sit down and read a few chapters. It's so hard when you're unmotivated and you're in a slump. But yeah, I'm just gonna push through because honestly, I just really want to get to a new book, if I'm being honest. All right, that's my update for now. I'll check in, like, I don't know. Hopefully, I'm in the same outfit in the next clip, but who knows? It could be 3 days from now. We'll see. We have a very elite reading setup tonight. So we have the tree on. I have reading ambiance on the TV. I have the TV lights on. I also have the little string lights on up there. It's perfect. And I'm trying to do everything to like set the right mood because this book is just really not giving what it needs to give. And I think it's a me problem, not a problem with the book. But I'm at the point where they are at the graveyard trying to find the Imperial Star because Orion's dad told him in the diary that he left it in his grave. So they're there. There's like these Reaper hounds that if you look at them, they'll suck the soul out of your body. It's very much giving Bird Box. And I know it's supposed to be like high stakes, but like I'm not feeling on edge. Like I'm not concerned. I'm just reading the chapters. And even though there's been like a couple close calls, like I'm just like, okay, like everyone's gonna make it out. Like I don't know why I'm just so indifferent about it. But there was one thing that kind of piqued my interest, and it was this. So Tori decides she's gonna like go ahead and use her Phoenix Fire to distract the hound so everyone can kind of get to a safer spot. Darius comes and like rescues her out of the way because he's concerned about her. And when they finally land, she goes, "You fucking idiot, why the fuck were your eyes open?" And he goes, "Because I wasn't going to risk them getting past me to you." She says, "And what would I do without you?" She is slowly coming along. Like, at first, it was like, okay, I understand. But now it's like, come on. This is the slowest slow burn I've ever read. I need them to get with the program. I need some more progress on the relationship. And as much as I would like to have something happen in this book, I really don't think we're going to get much more than like these one off little lines in this book. I will be pleasantly surprised if that is different. Hopefully, in book 7, we get something because, like, at this point, like, I'm getting really frustrated. I need something to work out. Like, I feel like we've given up the whole plan of defying the stars. Like, what's going on? Like, we got to figure out a way. Um, but that's like the one thing that has piqued my interest in this whole scene. So we'll see. I think it's because like they're there to get this star, but even if they get it, they can't wield it. So they're gonna go and hide it. And like my prediction is Lionel's gonna find some way to like see where they hid it and he's gonna take it anyways. So I think that's why I'm feeling indifferent because I'm like just thinking ahead that like this the trajectory of the book has not been good for these characters. Nothing seems to go their way. So I feel like this will just be another failed mission in like the grand scheme of things. So we'll see. I'll keep reading, but like that was at least something exciting. Okay, and it looks like Orion has now just become the new master of the Zodiac Guild. So now he's kind of like the protector of dark magic, and I think he's gonna have to start working for the Vegas. Like he's gonna have to be Team Vegas on the throne, which he seems to be. But yeah, so now he's become the new master, and they got the star, the Imperial Star, and then they found a tarot card with it, and it said this is the last card. Honestly, I wish that storyline was a little stronger because that was really interesting in book 1 and a little bit into book 2, and then I feel like it really died off, and the cards were so many riddles that like no one understood what they meant, and then we never got like a follow-up on what they were referring to. So that storyline is now done. They have like so many crazy names for things like the cars and all that, Fae book, and I've looked past all of them. The fact that I just read the word fortnight in this book, I can't. I cannot. When he's saying he was rather decorate his dick than play Fortnite, what? There's Fortnite in this world? What in the Crescent City is this? I don't know why this is the one that sent me over the edge. They've referenced Taylor Swift. I'm fine with that. The Fortnite is what did me in. And this is how you know this book does not really have my attention or like nothing too crazy is happening when it's like I'm making updates about Fortnite. I can't. Okay, it's the next morning. I have 20% left of the book. We are finishing this today if it is the only thing I do. I need to get this off my list and I need to move to something different. I'm definitely feeling burnt out on the series right now. Gabriel was just able to get into like the royal seer chamber thing. It's like a glass throne. And he just read out some like crazy prophecy. It was very long. It made no sense except for whoever the hunter is, they're going to die. And it sounds like a lot of blood is going to be shed. So who knows? And then the only other big thing that has happened is at the time while Gabriel's doing that, Darcy and Orion go to Orion's mom's house because they're trying to get that hat that Diego dropped in the last book. And they end up being stopped by Clara. She like controls Orion. He basically starts stabbing Darcy at the command of Clara. And while they're doing this, Darcy figures out a way to like push her phoenix fire into him, and she's able to banish the shadows from him, which is good. So now out of like, what was it? The 5 kids that had shadows, because it was Darcy, Tori, Darius, Xavier, and Orion. 2 of them no longer have it. So now she just has to work on getting them out of the other 3 and will be golden. Even though Xavier really doesn't seem to have any bad experiences with the shadows at this point because no one's trying to control him. He's just kind of there. Oh, and what's her name? Stella had shown up at the same time with, I know it's Drusilla. I can't remember the other guy's name. Marcel, maybe, something like that. And Drusilla was like, please let me have the Vega, blah, blah, blah. She turned to like her nymph form. She tried to like probe Darcy. At the time, Darcy's being stabbed. And when she like pushed the Phoenix fire into Orion, it caused this like huge explosion. And Drusilla, Diego's mom, is now dead. So we're down another nymph. Then when they were leaving, it seemed like Drusilla's, I think it's her brother. Again, can't remember his name. I literally read it 3 seconds ago. I'm going to call him Marcel. He seems to have like a change of heart. He was like, she's coming back, we need to go, like referring to Clara. So now he like seemed to be on their side. And when they're running, Clara was like, keep running, like I can't hold her at bay much longer. So they're trying to set it up like real Clara is inside and this like shadow something is controlling her. But I'm sorry, even if they can get the shadows out of Clara, I'm done with her. Like, she, I'm sure, is a very nice person, real Clara. But she has pissed me off so much in this book. I'm disgusted with everything she says. If I've had to read her call Lionel daddy too many times, she's done. Like, I'm sorry, even if they can rescue her, like, we need to be done with her. I don't care to rescue her. Like, let's just be done with it. But yeah, we're going to keep reading. We're going to finish this today. And we'll see what craziness is going to happen at the end. Well, I just found out how the book gets worse. Darius just had to marry Mildred on Christmas. Honestly, like, I don't mind a book that's like a little frustrating and there's like pain, but this book, it's like you don't even want to read it. Like, reading it is not even enjoyable because you're just like, I hate everything that's happening. And I know even when I get to the end of this chapter, like, it's not going to get better. That's the level of frustrating this book is. Like, it's a whole different tier. And he had to do it because Lionel figured out that Tori really isn't under his control, and now he's torturing her, and he basically blackmailed Darius and said, if you don't marry Mildred, I'm going to keep cutting Tori up. So that's where we're at. Lionel also like attacked where Orion and Darcy had run off to, so now they're like nowhere to be found. And yeah, I did not realize that my hatred for this man could get any bigger. Any bigger. And it does. That's the most surprising part of this book. How much I can just find new levels of hate for this man, as well as Clara. And don't even get me started on Vard, his seer. What a creep. I hate this man. Like, this is giving Harry Potter Order of the Phoenix when you are having to read Umbridge's part. Like, when you just wanted to literally claw out of your own body so you didn't have to read it. That's how I feel right now. I have 9% left of this book, and I just know it's going to be miserable from here on out. Okay, so it was actually Gabriel impersonating Mildred. So Darius is not married, and he found out when he like tried to have sex, and then it was Gabriel. But this is concerning. Gabriel says he went to his own like little amplifying chamber at his house, and he was seeing all the visions that when he sat in like the seer chair thing, he got to see. And he said, there's one prophecy which I can't see any way around but this. And Darius says, what is it? Gabriel goes, one of my sisters is going to die today. What? I like, why? I mean, out of the two of them, I'm picking Tori. I'm sorry. Like, I like Darcy more than Tori. So, like, Darcy cannot go. But why? There's so many other characters we could kill off. Why does it have to be one of the twins? But then he says, the only possible chance we have to save them is by me bringing you to the caves of the forgotten. What's that? So I'm very concerned what's going to happen in this last 8%. So the caves of the forgotten, is Darius going to be forgotten from society? Is that what that means? Or one of the twin dies? Like, what about Kylie? Like, she's a great. What about High Spell? What about Lionel? What about Clara? What about Stella? Like, here's so many more people that we would be okay with. I'm having so much fun. Okay, Darius just got to the cave and they're like walking in and they get to a final door. And Gabriel's like, I can't go any further with you. Like, all I can see is like you going through the door could save the girls, but there's so many different possibilities of like how this turns out. And I don't know, I just feel like this is bad news because like as Darius is walking through, they were like, descendant of the betrayer, blah blah, your blood's thick with lies and betrayal. Like, seeming like these forces that maybe don't really like his family. And I'm feeling like this is not going to end well for Darius. So it's either like one of the girls are going to die or something that's happening to him. So I definitely do not think we're ending the book with the three of them all intact. This is just wonderful. They were able to kill Clara, but then Lavinia, I don't know how you say her name, just like reformed out of the shadow, so she's still alive. She is the real Shadow Princess. Darcy now has some like crazy dark magic curse on her that we have no clue what that actually means. And Darius just made a bargain with the stars that he would release Tori from like all of her bonds to protect Lionel and like them being star-crossed, but he only gets to live for 1 year. So he can live for 1 year loving her and making up for all of his sins, but like he has to die in a year to be able to save her in this moment. can't have anything good. And I still have like 2 or 3 chapters left. I hate this book.